Hey there, Crystal Thompson here for Unity Stamp Company. Welcome to another Color Combos with Crystal. Today we are creating some really fun purpley color combos in celebration of Halloween, along with a beautiful, awesome stamp set that was released actually last year. This is Entanglement from Unity Stamp Company, of course. It's a really cool patterned stamp that has spider webs, and it's quite large. And it has the inner part cut out so you can stamp your sentiment or you can do whatever you like. I have a piece of a violet craft paper, cardstock, violet cardstock. And we're going to be using some watermark embossing ink on this. I'm going to bring the ink pad to Samset. I'm going to ink it all up. I'm going to bring the cardstock directly over the stamp. And I love being able to do this with Unity Stamp Company products because that red rubber is so awesome and you can really get to see where you're stamping and not really have to move it. All right, so one of the coolest things to do is to do some heat embossing with clear embossing powder on colored cardstock. The reasoning why is it's going to bring that colored cardstock, it's going to darken it by just one or two shades, and it's going to really allow you to do some ink blending. So let me show you. I have my heat gun ready to go and trying to get this to heat up. And when it's heated up, it goes really fast. So be sure to preheat your gun if you want a quick ready to go. So anyways, this is what it looks like. It is a darker purple. Isn't it really cool? And I'm just going to go ahead and follow the entire outline of this super fun background stamp, and then we're going to move on to the next step. So once this is fully heat embossed, we're going to begin our ink blending extravaganza. So I have Wilted Violet, which is a beautiful shade of purple. Be sure you get something that covers your surface. I have a really fun rubber mat. Anyways, I'm going to use one blender brush for both purples. It's such a pretty purple. So I'm going to do 3 little layers, kind of just adding them in little sections, coming in with Seedless Preserves, which is just a pinkier color of ink blending, and I am ink blending over our clear heat embossing. And don't be afraid, we're going to come in and clean that up so you could really see it doesn't really hide behind it. It will resist the ink blending and it's going to show that awesome purple, but then you still have that really cool focal point. And again, I'm just going to blend those guys and then let them sit. I'm going to go grab some water, and grabbing the back end of my water, we're going to splatter that all over the card, and it's going to create little flickers, which I'm really happy about. And see how cool that comes to life. And one of the things I wish I would have done prior to adding all my drops of water or paint is to have cleaned off the heat embossing, the ink blending from the heat embossing to show the reveal. Instead, I have to wait a couple minutes prior to doing that so I wouldn't smudge all my beautiful white paint. I'm using Altenew Pure White. This is a spray. I did the back end and just splatter on it. And so we're going to let this dry off, and then we're going to remove the that top layer doing some heat emboss resist. So I'm going to bring in some really cool shapes. I have a Pretty Pink Posh die, and this is just a really cool chevron, and I'm going to bring back those distress oxides that I used earlier. There was so much ink left on my brush, I didn't even have to go back and re-ink. So we're going to blend. We're going to add some more water droplets, more ink droplets to this, and then again we're going to let that dry. And it's going to tie the whole thing together. It's very Halloweeny, but it's still really festive and really fun. Just kind of gets you into the spirit. While everything is drying, I have one of the little spiders from the kit. I'm going to stamp this guy onto a piece of white cardstock. We're going to let him sit down for just a couple seconds and then bring in my scissors. I'm going to fussy cut around him and add some foam adhesive to the back. Now we are ready to put our card together. So I have my ink blended chevron ready to go. I'm going to grab my adhesive. We're going to add just a little bit on the back, not have it come through, just flat adhesive. I considered putting up some foam to raise it and give it dimension, but there's so much going on in that background. We're going to keep it nice and clean. So I'm folding over any of the adhesives that might have popped up. I'm going to place it down. trying not to touch any of my white paint. And then I had mentioned earlier, I have already added foam adhesive to the back of the little spider. So the little spider is going to go to the end of the chevron to kind of clean off that edge. And then I have Hello Friend. This is an awesome word dye as well from Pretty Pink Posh, but you can use whatever you want. And one of my favorite things to do is to go create a hello or whatever sentiment onto using my Cricut and cutting it out of black cardstock. And then I just have a ton of them. It makes it for really fast card making. And I have a free SVG from a couple weeks ago. I think it's still up on the Simon on the Unity store. So I'm going to pop that in as well, and you guys can go grab that free SVG. Then adding the friend. So on this, I have the Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. So this is just clear glue. You can use Elmer's glue. I don't feel like this is anything special. It's just clear glue with a fine tip, which is really the funnest part of the whole thing. I'm adding some glue to the back of that friend, and we're going to place it down at the bottom of our card, and we're going to press down to really make sure that it's going to stay down. And we're going to bring it into frame, of course. And last but not least, I'm just going to embellish with a couple Nuvo drops. You can even add some glitter, whatever you want, but you can see how cool it resisted that heat embossing. Loving the colors of purple. Very Halloweeny, yet super festive. And guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial using the Unity Stamp Company previous releases. If you are new to the YouTube channel, please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. And as my 3-year-old says, Pinky promise, all products are listed below. We'll see you later.